Hello everyone. I'm your host, Dr. Anjum Qureshi, and I welcome you all for our unique talk show, Beyond Education. Today we have with us a very special guest, Anandita ma'am, and it's my pleasure to welcome her on this show. Before starting the show, let me just tell you in short about IDYM. Igniting Dreams of Young Minds Foundation. It works in the 195 countries. It has its members across 195 countries of the world. And its main motto is to educate the children about space and satellite technology. Until now, it has provided trainings to more than 1.5 lakh students across the world. And not only in India, of course, it has covered all the 28 states and 9 union territories. But along with that, even in other countries, IBYM has been extending its services, and all these workshops are conducted free of cost. And yes, we also conduct a lot of conferences to share the knowledge with the whole world. Till now, more than 10,000 certifications has been provided by the organization. It is a registered space tutor for USRO and also recognized by UNO. And today, we are back with our unique talk show, Beyond Education, because we believe that everyone has a story that can inspire millions of lives around the world. And today, to share her story, we have a very great personality, Ms. Anandita Chaudhary, ma'am. I welcome you, ma'am, for this show.
Thank you so much. I am really honored to be on the show.
Thank you, ma'am. And before starting with the conversation, let me introduce you to our guest, Anandita Chaudhary. Ma'am, she is a passionate environmental activist and ecopreneur and the founder of EcoServe, a leading earth-friendly brand whose mission is to create sustainable made-in-India handicrafts, empowering women and reviving the rich culture and heritage of our country. She is the state president of WICCI, Maharashtra Sustainable Business Council, and also National Advisory G100 Fashion and Textile, an author and national speaker, an integral part of G20 Sustainable and Resilient Communities, and winner of many prestigious awards. So, this is in short about our guest speaker today, and we'll be knowing more about her, about her life journey in our talk show. So, ma'am, Ananta ma'am, once again, I welcome you. And I would like to start with uh, knowing something about you, something about your background, about your school days, about your childhood days, and what your aspirations when you were young.
As a child, we have many dreams. I wanted to be a person who is connected with nature. Okay. I loved poetry. I love to spend time. I have grown up in a small town where my friends were animals and pets and trees, and I wanted to do something for them. Even while I was in college, I was very much against the sacrifices which are held at various places, which are witnessed by people. And in terms of although I just wanted to avoid be seeing cruelty around, made me feel very bad. I would understand that why would unnecessary a person throw a stone at a poor stray dog if that dog has not done anything? Or why would somebody genuinely not be interested in staying in a place which is full of greenery and nice, and would understand the language of only concrete buildings? I could not make out as a child, and all I wanted to do is create a beautiful world which was more green and a better environment for the future generation to come. So that was my dream, to create a better environment. And I was a creative person as a child, and I would write my poetries in all three languages. I belong to a small place called Durgapur, and it is in West Bengal. And I stayed in a township. So I grew up in that kind of atmosphere, in a cosmopolitan culture where, your friends, your aunts are your actual more than your relatives. So we grew up like that, and our little dreams grew as we grew up.
Yeah, that's really great. Yeah. And as you were talking, like when you were very small, when you were very young, so from that time you had that environmentalist inside you. But I would like to know when exactly that turn happened. When was the turning point in your life?
See, although I was, a core of my heart, a person close to nature, but as in terms of career, I chose to do something which was creative. So I chose advertising and public relations as because wanted to went out that creativity, and while doing so, I tend to, I was working for a lot of good places. I also worked for a UN brand, and but I was in the rat race. I realized that I was in the rat race of earning money, and somewhere I had to kind of give myself that time to think and ponder. So it is that point in time when I was doing very good in my life in terms of the power and the position and the financial well-being. When I was a consultant running from one city to the other, then I realized that I was pregnant with twins. And at that point of time, my instincts told me that, somewhere now I have to do a pause. Because if I run around like this, I'm not going to have a balance between the kind of life I want for my children and the kind of life I want for myself. So somehow, I decided to give up on, it is very difficult, I guess, to give up on that huge position and power which you're already enjoying, and decided to be with my children for 5 years. And those are the golden years where I realized that was very, very wise decision on my part, because the thought, the seed I ingrained in them so beautifully that at the age of 1, they could relate to soil, they could relate to plants, they could relate to environment so closely. So that was, where I realized that if I can do this for one child, if I do this I have twin children. So if I can do it for my both kids, why can't I spread this beautifully amongst others? But I was waiting for an opportunity till my children were good enough to talk or could talk it out to their father or somebody who was attending them. So I waited for 5 years for them to grow up a little. And that's when, when as a mother, I was born, I think I was reborn. And that's when I think the seeds were fully germinated in my mind.
Yes, of course, ma'am. When we are mother, it's actually like rebirth. It's a reborn, we can say. And yes, of course, that's really great to know. And yes, as you are an ecopreneur and the founder of EcoServe, a leading earth-friendly brand. So how did this start? How do
So
you think of starting this?
while I was doing my, I had taken this 5 years. I decided to do something where the concept of eco-serve was that serving eco, as in the environment, and serve is serving it. So whichever way I can do, I will serve the environment. How the idea was born was that I decided to find out those avenues. I started visiting a lot of, villages and places where I started finding out that which were the avenues where I could actually contribute to a huge, thing which was already happening. So I decided to go into disposables. I started a small unit of disposables, which was, made of areca palm, or commonly called supari plates. they were causing, whenever we have parties, we see the amount of garbage around. So they were not very, I stay in Maharashtra. So I was seeing that that was not very common at that point in time. So I decided to start a small sick unit, which, had 90% women, and they were not paid properly. They were not getting training. So I decided to, why not, with my boot capital, do something for these ladies. So I'll be a good cause. And I started on a note that this will be a good thing, which I'll start. But I never knew that, this journey is going to take me into another level where I started, this journey, and it slowly started getting wings. Year on year, things improved. And then I started also taking a lot of these artisans whom I work with. Throughout the country, I work with a lot of artisans. I'm myself an artisan. I love to work with, different forms of art. So I realized that why do their beautiful work not get the, exposure? So that's how, the concept of EcoServe was born. And every day, whatever I do will be contributing to the environment.
Then that's really great, Mena. And yes, as you were telling about how you started with the EcoServe, and you can see you have played a great role in developing the Indian handicrafts and promoting them and empowering women. So that's really great, and that's really commendable work that we have been doing. And you're also the status president of WICCI, Maharashtra Sustainable Business Council, and National Advisory Chief 100 Fashion and Textile. So, can you just tell something about these roles?
See, when I started, stabilizing in terms of a company, in terms of seeing what I was doing, then I wanted to get associated with some organization who was into the sustainable craft and who were a group of women. So that's how, WICCI, which is Women Chamber of Commerce, I kind of approached them and said that, I would like to work for Maharashtra. And I wanted to, they saw my profile and they saw the details. And I kind of put them across that, yes, I will do certain things specifically, not just for people, but, I will unite people who are doing this common cause. And then we will together form a group. So we had to submit a proposal and then take forward. My purpose is now to connect people of the various sustainable brands, and so that we together make a difference. So that was the birth of why I joined WICCI as the sustainable president of Maharashtra. And while it is just joining the dots, so while I was doing so, I had gone to Delhi, and then I met with a couple of people, during a WICCI event. And there I connected with a lot of people who said that because my primarily thing, I deal with a lot of different kinds of textiles, like textiles, but different kinds of grasses and a lot of accessories. So why not take that on a different level? So, I'm really grateful to Alakananda ji, who kind of recommended my name. And she suggested that I look after the fashion and lifestyle aspect, because the reason why I actually was very enthused, because our fashion industry is maximum cause of pollution. It is that this culture, that use and throw culture, or the fact that we do not understand that whatever we are not using and dumping, it is causing so much of pollution. That is the reason why I wanted to make a change in that aspect. So that is the reason why I connected to, as the G100 fashion and textile.
Yeah, that was really, again, great, I can say, because I never thought that fashion industry, it is also something that is polluting the environment. So that's really great, ma'am. And you're also an author. So what do you like to tell about the book or poems, whatever you have written, your role as an author?
Yeah, that actually came during the lockdown primarily, because I have written down about my journey in a couple of books. I wanted to write, I have co-authored a couple of books where I have written about, how this young girl had chased her dreams and she became an entrepreneur. I've also tried to motivate other people belonging to such small towns who have dreams. That was my purpose. And I've also written in a couple of coffee table books as well as an author about sustainability. So my main purpose of doing so is that if one particular thing, and I've also written a very prestigious article about the future of Indian, this was in a BJP article magazine, which came with a lot of other, renowned authors. It was an article about the future of what India as it will stand up, in the next century. Like now we are celebrating the 76th year, I guess, of Indian independence, that how it will look when the century is over, what our laws should be, what our, so that was a very challenging article which I had written. And I was a little bit skeptical because, it had contained laws and things like that. So I did a lot of research on that. And I was surprised that it got, published in the BJP youth magazine, which is circulated, India wide. And so that was a very this thing. And my main purpose of writing is to see that I can motivate more and more people, inspire them to take on this journey.
Yes, of course. Like your articles, as you said, you want to motivate people and you want to take the young to an inspiring journey. So you are also a international speaker, not just a motivational speaker, but you are an international speaker. So can you just tell something about your journey as a speaker? And what are
Right.
topics do you like to cover, or whom do you like to interact with?
Yeah, definitely. Actually, this since I was in the line of public relations and advertising, so communication comes to me very naturally. I have spoken at all levels wherever it has been possible. So thanks, never, like I say, education never comes as a waste. So I have spoken. I have represented India in Asia, Asia African conference, where I have been a panelist. I have also, with my, with African and people from Japan and all, we have discussed about the different roles of SDGs. So there I have represented India as a panelist. And I have also done various talks on SDGs and their role, particularly, SDG on climate change and SDG on responsible consumption and production, because I believe that every individual is responsible for their own self. So if we all realize that we have do responsible production, so the companies don't have to do it. That is the main problem. We always point out this is not our problem, this is the problem of somebody else. So that those are the two subjects which are very close to my heart. So I take a lot of webinars both internationally and nationally. And I talk about the various methods which organization can do, an individual can do to change their lifestyle and habits. And I believe that if that makes a little bit of difference, I'll feel very happy.
Yeah, of course. I know. Well, I never heard you as a speaker, but the way you are interacting now and the confidence that I have been seeing in you, I will say surely the people must be motivated and inspired by you and by your talk. Certainly. And you are an ecopreneur, you are an author, you are an international speaker. So, where do you find yourself 10 years after now? And where do you feel what role you would be playing? You will be an ecopreneur or you will be a speaker. Where do you find yourself after 10 years?
So, after 10 years, definitely I would like to, one is take multitasking at a different level, where my kids will obviously become elder, bigger, and my responsibility towards them will be a slightly less, because they'll be able to look after themselves. So as and when that increases, I would like to step up my role as an educator by, having certain unique methods of education, which I would like to impart in different colleges all across the country, and if possibly across the nations as well. And as a speaker, definitely I'm very passionate about that subject. So that I will definitely do. So I will take all these things at a stride, because it's like my right eye and my left eye. I love them both. So I would like to continue everything. And maybe 10 years down the line, I would concentrate a little more on the writing part of it. I have not got the time to write a full book. I would concentrate on writing, you are rich with your experiences 10 years later, right? So that will give me more time to grow. And then we can narrate our experiences once our hair also grows a little gray. So the experience becomes rich. So I plan to then pen it down and spread the word.
That's really wonderful to know. And yes, of course, after 10 years, if you say, like, with our experience, and when we are writing something, it is, our experience, when we try to pen down our experience, it really makes an impact on others. And I have been hearing you for the last few minutes, the way you have been working, the different roles that you have been playing. I'm sure that you are a role model, you are an inspiration for many. But you will be having some role model or some mentors or people who must have inspired you throughout your life journey. So nextly, I would like to know about any such people who are there in your life, always there with you.
I believe that, Shweta Shalini ji is kind of my role model to a certain extent, because number one, she's a powerful speaker. Number two, she's the mother of twins. Number three, I find her a very, the way she does her work. She has risen through a difficult job like politics, which obviously is not what I would like to go for. But yeah, I really admire her. I also admire certain other personalities, like certain people who have worked relentlessly. There is this person called Mr. Satya Natarajan. He is been working in the field of IT, and he is yet a volunteer, and he has done multiple projects. And those are the people who do silent work. They are the main heroes. So those are the people I admire, who work at the grassroots level also, who have the knowledge and inspired. See, all of us can say that, oh, we are busy. But I really appreciate those people who find time amongst the busy schedule to do something for the environment. When you walk into an IT office, you find that people are all programmed to do certain kind of job. But from that IT office, if somebody is trying to find such time and doing lovely work, that is the kind of person I really admire. He has the responsibility, obviously, of his family, but in spite of that, he's doing a fantastic job. And certain other people also are there who have been my friends and role models. One of them is Priya Sitaraman. She's again a very good friend and a tough fighter. I've seen her fight with various situations in life. Life is not the same, right? There will be situations where you will, your health will be bad, or something with your family will go bad. But I love the fighting spirit of Priya Sitaraman, who's a very, very close friend of mine, and she's also a lovely fighter. I appreciate that spirit in her, and she does multitasking, and a creative person at heart. And obviously, I like the way the values, like my husband and my family are very supportive. If they were not this supportive, I would have not done anything. And so I believe that first and foremost, I should thank my husband, Debojit Chaudhary. He has been my pillar of strength. He has told me that follow your passion. He has not told me that, when you fall, what is going to happen? Because when you do multitasking, you might fall, right? And my children who have patiently, stood by me, slowly and slowly, leaving a little responsibility on them. And they know that their mother is doing good work and they're proud of me. And that's what makes me, apart the all the trophies are nothing when your child says, I'm proud of you, or when your husband says, I'm so proud of what you do. So that is what is the most important. I'm getting goosebumps when I'm saying this, but that is my real reward.
Yeah, certainly. I can understand. Yes. Of course, we need the support. It's not, yes, we achieve a lot in our life through our hard work, we say, but that is never possible without the support of our loved ones, without the support of our relatives, friends, family members. We always need someone, and there are many people who actually keep on inspiring us. And as you are in this field and you're working, I know you have to just keep yourself updated about what is happening around, what is the latest developments, and what is the trends in it, your field of business. So, how do you keep yourself updated?
See, one is that during the lockdown, when things had really closed down, when nothing was possible, I used this time effectively. I, updated my skills by finishing off a certification from CII, which is a Green Auditor certification, which actually is a complete detailed analysis of what are those aspects in very, very minute details. Next is I keep on reading on, since, I'm part of the G20, like I said, I'm part of their sustainable and resilient community. So then we have our dialogues with a lot of international participations. I have chosen the hybrid mode because, for me to travel every time is not really a feasible option. I kind of, and after we have our sessions, we are supposed to submit our documentation where we have suggestions, and then we analyze them. So while we listen to others, see, listening is a very important thing. When you're talking about a problem which is happening in Africa, when you're getting to know that this is the problem which is happening in Africa, this is the problem which is happening in Europe, so you get to so much of knowledge you gain while just listening. Then we can analyze. So I make it a point to listen to whatever panelists and speakers have to say. And wherever I can contribute, I definitely make it a point to do so. So that is the way I gain knowledge of not only whatever is happening recent and all over the world. And I keep on updating. I also read a lot. So that's how I keep myself abreast with the latest.
Yes, because like, yes, as you said, you did some certification courses, but whatever field we are reading, it is actually the best medium to keep ourselves informed, to update ourselves. Maybe we can just read anything, any books, newspapers, whatever, any kind of material that we can be getting either online or offline. That really helps a lot. And because as the world is changing so fast, the changes are happening, we have to keep ourselves updated. It doesn't matter which field we are working. And that is really a very great thing that I learned from you now. So, ma'am, now I would just like to ask you, like, you have been doing, I guess, there's so many roles. I'm really very inspired by you. So, before ending the session, just few tips for the people, especially for the women who are watching us now or who will be watching us later. Some tips for the women, to how to get ahead in life, how to, maintain the work and the whole personal and professional balance, and tips for those who are watching us now.
Yeah, so first and foremost is that, for everybody, I would say, not just women, that give yourself a little time. Do not, you are not a rubber band that you have to stretch yourself so hard. So you have to first understand that, to be having your sanity, you need to understand you're not a superhuman. Even if you're a mother, a wife, a sister, first of all, You're a woman. You need your own time. Somehow you have to divide your time in such a way that you get a little bit time for yourself. Set it aside and then set all your roles. And do not overstep. If you see that, okay, fine, I can't do these five things, then don't try to say that I want to be a superwoman. Okay, I'll do three things, right? So these three things I can do properly, because what happens when we don't do anything properly, immediately we get into a self guilt. As a mom, we get into a self guilt. We say we are not teaching our children. Okay, so I'm not getting time for my family. So do not overstep yourself and give yourself a little time. As women, we do not, we feel that we don't need our time. Our time is what family's time is. But if you do not, like every day in the morning, my me time is the time I spend with my plants. I have a lot of plants. I look at them, I see their growth. I have a cup of tea. I have a nice swing in my balcony. I sit on the swing for some time after my kids have gone to school. And that is my time. That is, that time is nobody else's time. I feel refreshed. I feel nice. I feel, oh, this is a beautiful flower which has bloomed today. So everybody has that. Somebody likes to sing, somebody likes to do anything. Please give time to yourself. First, be that woman who do not feel guilty. Oh, I'm giving time for myself. So, that's bad. No, that is where it will take you forward. And objectively divide your time as much as you can. Don't try to stretch yourself. So only if you do that, there'll be a perfect balance. There will be imperfections. Live with the imperfections. Do not try to be perfect, because if you try to do perfect, you're always going to, have some or the other grudges in your heart. You're going to face depression. And we go through so many changes, like women. We have motherhood. We have, postpartum depressions, so many other things, which is different from a man. Don't try to compete with a man. Don't try to. We are special. We are unique. And let's be ourselves. Don't try to compete with another woman also. Just be the person you are, true to yourself. And, there are people who ask me, how can you are energetic? You won't believe I had a full day today. I have been in a conference the full day, right from morning. It took me 2 hours in a traffic jam to go and 2 hours to come back. After that, also, I have a smile on my face. That is only there because, you have to love yourself. And that's what all of you should do.
Am I audible now?
Yes, 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 you are.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I think there are some network issues on my side because it's raining here a lot. So
Okay.
might be some issues. So yeah, but I was listening to you and the way you were explaining how we should be having a balance and how we should be giving time for ourselves. Because that is more important because in this race we just want to do so many things at a time. And the best part what I liked about you was